that would add up to my own life, the life of every woman in this world, and just this world as a whole. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Thailand. Now we come to the final qualifier from this group. This is Turkey, İdil Bilgen. And İdil is fulfilling a lifelong dream of being a medical doctor and will be embarking on her medical residency training in the United States, specializing in radiation oncology. So, for you, for the final time, the question is, how has working on your Beauty with a Purpose project changed the way you see your role as a woman in your community and in the world?
Thank you for the question. Welcome, everyone. It is such a privilege to be here today and speaking before you regarding this question, actually. So, all my life, I wanted to become a doctor, especially in the field of oncology. And recently, I started to pursue my career in radiation oncology, doing all my research in that field, especially regarding breast cancer. For me, this was very important to advocate for breast cancer prevention, screening, and early detection in my community, internationally and nationally as well, in honor of my mother. She was a breast cancer patient for 16 years. She was very strong and brave, and unfortunately, she passed away due to this condition. But after her demise, I realized that more people need to be aware of this cancer, of this condition, and we need to advocate for it. So people that could do this best are the ones who have experienced it, who have felt the fear, uncertainty, and stress of a cancer diagnosis in the family and the treatment phase, which we did for 16 years. So in my community, in both Turkey, throughout my research, I actually conducted academic research on prevention, especially during the pandemic, where we held where we wrote publications on the importance of early detection and for women to continue going to their screenings, mammogram screenings, to continue treatment despite the burden of the COVID-19 pandemic. That was one of my work, actually, that I did with Princess Margaret Cancer Center in Toronto. And with my Beauty with a Purpose project recently, I've been doing this work in Ukraine, holding seminars and symposiums to teach women about the importance of mammogram screenings according to guidelines, for them to not be scared to actually go to that hospital, to enter that clinic for their screening. Because some women choose to avoid it, but it should not be avoided, because if detected early, that cancer, that condition is treatable and sometimes curable. So in this way, you not only save yourself as a woman, but also you protect your family. This way, your children, your family, your husband, your family does not fall apart. You stay together as a whole. And no children should have to separate from their mothers due to a condition that could be prevented, that could be treated if detected early in time. And with my Purpose project, I've been trying to advocate for this in Turkey through remote collaborations with the Turkish Cancer Society, and in Ukraine with the Ukrainian Diplomatic Spouse Association and the Ukrainian Foreign Minister's wife. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you there, Turkey. And just while we find out from the judges, I just want to give a thank you to our supporters and sponsors this evening, or this afternoon, or even this morning. I'm losing track of time here. First of all, the government of Telangana, their support has been incredible, and we obviously would like to say thank you to them for all that support and for making dreams come true here in Telangana. Hightex, which is the host of the 72nd Miss World Final, will be moving there in the coming week as we build up towards the 72nd Miss World Final, which is on the 31st of May. And then I'd also like to mention our home, away from home, Trident Hotel here in Hyderabad, and our associate sponsor, Aura Realty, Aura Realty, and AdSplash and Social Aviator, who are operating on the marketing and sponsorship of the events, and also to broadcast partners, including Doordarshan and Waves. So we'd like to thank them all. And with that, I'm going to ask the contestants to step forward to the front of the stage as we reveal who's gone through to the final. There we are. There we go. So our final two qualifiers come from Asia and Oceania. And going through from this group, we have Turkey. Congratulations, Turkey. And joining her, Thailand. So the two T's, T for two, moving forward. Thank you to Sri Lanka, Lebanon, and Japan as well as they join the audience. But there we have it. So it's getting exciting. So if we want to have a look along that line, we have our qualifiers from the Americas and Caribbean. We have Brazil and Trinidad and Tobago. There we are. From Africa, we have Namibia and Zambia. From Europe, we have Ireland and Wales. And from Asia and Oceania, we have Thailand and Turkey. Okay. Now I'm going to ask if we can get a camera in position because we've got to see who's going to make the choices. Because in a moment we're going to go into the final part of the challenge. But I'd like to introduce you to the people who have to make that decision. So if we're looking at the far end first, if he gives us a little wave at the far end. There we go. That's as far away from me. He can't hear very well from there. There we go. So we know him as an actor, model, entrepreneur. But he's also in charge of all the social media team, doing an incredible job out here in Telangana. He's our very own Enrique Fontes. Next, a lady who is responsible for us all being here, because none of this would have ever happened. None of us would ever be sitting here if it wasn't for this one person. She is, of course, the founder of Beauty with a Purpose, the chairman and CEO of the Miss World organization, Julia Morley, CBE. And we've been today praising the police and security services, and to have one of their chiefs with us this afternoon is a great honor, and we'd like to pay special thanks to you, Sai Shri Batima. And next to you is our own head of security, because she looks after the crown, or she does for another week. She's the keeper of the crown and the reigning Miss World, Kristina Pishkova. And our associate sponsor is represented by this young lady. And she, of course, is Aruna Param. And finally, a man who knows what it's like to take on this challenge, because he took this challenge on a few months ago in Mr. World. And he actually did very well and became Mr. World Asia. This is Pham Tuan Nak, but we call him Tony. There we are. Say hello to Tony. So there you have it, our judges. And now, having met the judges, you have to make this final decision, because this is where head-to-head challenge gets its name from. Because now we will ask the two contestants to step forward from Americas and Caribbean. So please, can we have you step forward? Brazil and Trinidad and Tobago. All right. Either side of the podium. Either side. There we are. So we're going to start with Brazil. You will both answer the same question. Brazil. Climate and responsibility is your subject. In a world facing urgent climate challenges, how can young people take meaningful action to protect our planet?
This topic might seem simple to understand, but it's quite difficult because we still have this problem going on. And as a teacher, I can see that it's very difficult to create and promote actions to have a truly result in climate change. And that's why I created a project to not only share this topic, but to bring everybody together to create solutions, but real solutions. The solutions that we can do at home, we can share with our families, with our communities, with our countries to achieve a point, to achieve a result. And it's serious. We need to think about that because every country here is facing a problem about sustainability, climate change, storms, a lot of things is going on, and we need to talk about this. And as a teacher, I'm doing this inside classrooms, but we all should do this in our houses, with our friends, with our family, so we can truly be part of the solution, not only to talk about it, but to truly be part of the solution. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you there. Thank you, Brazil. Now we're going to swap to Trinidad and Tobago.
Good morning again, everyone. So I come from the land of sunshine, of forest, of trees, and I'm lucky to have grown up surrounded by that. And because of that, I grew to love being in nature. It's my safe space. It's where I find happiness. It's where I center myself. And when you love something, you want to protect it. And that's why my Beauty with a Purpose, the ripple effect, we so strongly advocate for our environment and also expose others to nature, bring them back to where we once came from. Because I think this modern world, it has sort of estranged us from nature, from the natural environment. And I'm really proud to say that one of my initiatives, the Hike and Plant Initiative, I joined forces with volunteers of many ages, some as young as 3 years old, and we went on a beautiful hike in the forest to help replant an area that was damaged by wildfires. And part of what I wanted to do was help people to reconnect with our environment because I think that we really have forgotten how important it is and how much we need it to sustain us. And also, it's actually medically proven that being in nature helps us to distress. It lowers our stress hormone levels. And planting the day, everyone felt rejuvenated. They felt happy. The kids wanted to stay longer and they kept smiling and laughing and wanting to grab more trees to come back again. And it might seem like hard work, but one small action, one ripple, when combined, can leave a lasting change. Because those trees, even though it was one day of planting, they will grow and they will have an impact for generations to come, leaving clean air, helping more animals and plants to come back again so that our world can continue to sustain and nourish us. Thank you.
Right. Well, thank you, ladies. Would you come forward to the front, please? Dave, can you just give them a microphone? And just while we're getting the results, we want you to tell us, because you're obviously the two that have got to the final, tell us a little bit about the characters in your Americas and Caribbean group. Who should we look out for?
You know, it's been such an amazing experience here with all these amazing girls. And I'm telling everybody that I'm going to hide myself somewhere and no one can find me. So I'm not going to come back to Brazil. I'm going to pretend that I lose my flight because it's been such an amazing opportunity. I really don't feel the sense of competition here. I feel that we are so united. Even we are so different, but we are so united. And all of us, all the groups, all continents, and I'm going to keep this forever and forever in my life. Thank you.
Hello again, everyone. So I think the Americas and Caribbean is a special region. I'm definitely not biased, but we come from many different countries, many different cultures. We speak different languages. And my own roommate, Martinique, when we first met, we were a little unsure how we would communicate because she speaks French and I speak English. But we learned that communication is not always about words. It's shared smiles, it's a little touch and a hug and a wink. And even though all of the girls sometimes it's difficult for us to communicate together, we all find that we share those little soft looks together. And I really do feel that our region is one big family. And I'm very thankful to Miss World for giving us that feeling and that unity. Thank you.
Okay. Wonderful. Okay. Well, ladies, I got to tell you that it actually went to a tie break, which is why it took a bit longer. The judges had actually marked equally for you. So now, after the tie break, we reveal that the winner of and becomes our champion for they're looking after each other there for Americas and Caribbean in the head-to-head challenge. That winner is Trinidad and Tobago. Congratulations. Now this of course means that Trinidad and Tobago in her continent will now move forward into the top 10 in her continent. Congratulations. Okay, and a big round of applause for Brazil as well. Brazil, you need to come and join the rest of us in the audience. And could I ask you to take your seat at the top table? Thank you. Now we move to Africa, and let's bring forward Namibia and Zambia. Now, your question is going to be on digital age and mental health. Okay, and here it is. With social media influencing so many aspects of life, how can we ensure it promotes self-worth and mental well-being, especially amongst the youth? Okay, and we will begin with Namibia.
Thank you for the question.
Do you want to just raise the thing so you'll be heard? That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the question. You know, as I've been a mental health advocate for the past 7 years, I understand the importance of taking care of your mental and emotional state. 740,000 people globally die every year to suicide. This is an alarming statistic that should be treated as a pandemic. I believe in the ethos of vulnerable leadership, which constitutes that yes, although we are public figures and we present ourselves well, it's not always like that, and that's okay. I believe that a leader is only as impactful as the lives that they're able to positively influence. I would educate young women on the importance, once again, of identity. There's a saying that says, if you come to the world and you don't know who you are, the world will tell you. And that's why it's so incredibly important to cultivate the light on the inside of you, so that no matter what anybody else says of you, to you, about you, it doesn't move you because you know who you are. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Namibia. And to you, Zambia, the same question. With social media influencing so many aspects of life, how can we ensure it promotes self-worth and mental well-being, especially among the youth?
Thank you so much for that question. One thing I know in this time and era is social media is powerful. Social media can break you or build you. But the one thing we need to realize as human beings, as girls, as boys, as the world, is we need to be authentic. The world will always change and evolve. But the one thing that cannot change and evolve is who you are. We need an authenticity that will stand in times and generations and cultures and races. You need to be bold with who you are and let the world embrace that. So, with the power of social media, we need to teach the women, the men, that there is power in being who you are. And you need to stay true to yourself no matter what, because society will evolve, but you cannot evolve 1,000 times. So stay true to yourself, because that's where your power lies. Thank you.
Okay, two very good answers. Oh my words! If you come forward, Dave's going to give you the microphone. Now, if come forward, ladies. You see, we want a few names. We'd like to know who misbehaves in the African group. They're there in front of you. Come on. I'm sure we'll find out now. Come on.
Nigeria.
I think I heard Nigeria.
I think I love my African sisters because we are all very similar. We all love to sing, we all love to dance, we all love to love and laugh. So if there's one person that misbehaves, it's everybody because we are all very similar. Thank you.
Okay. So it's the bad girls of Africa, is it? Here we go. Okay, let's ask Namibia. Come on, maybe you can give more information.
I must say that my most favorite times, one of my most favorite experiences at Miss World is definitely when we get onto the bus. We have a few, I would say, the choir leaders, and that constitutes of Miss Nigeria, Miss Angola, Miss Cameroon, who came second at the talent competition last night. They're all incredible singers, and they're definitely the life of the party. So I wouldn't say trouble starters. I would just say they shine their light extra bright.
Okay. Well done. Would you maybe not trouble starters? What about fire starters? Maybe, maybe. Anyway, Africa, thank you. You've been very well represented by these brilliant young women. But one of them is going to now take that title, move forward into the top 10 in her continent. And who will that be? The judges have made their decision. Qualifying, and our champion for Africa, Zambia. Congratulations, Zambia. Brilliant work, Namibia. Now, I'm going to ask Namibia and Brazil if you would escort each other and join the rest of the group on the floor. So that's it. There we go, and give them a big round of applause. So there we are, two qualifiers. So Trinidad and Tobago and Zambia. But now it's the turn of Europe. And we ask Ireland and Wales to come forward. Wow, here we go. And we're going to ask a question on education and empowerment. What role does education play in empowering young women? And how have your own educational experiences shaped you and who you are today? And we will begin with Ireland.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for your question. As someone who was the first person in my family to ever attend university and obtain a degree and a master's, education really was a pivotal moment in my life. I work with education mostly in Africa and in Ireland and in places all over the world where I've seen multiple people change their lives with it. As Nelson Mandela once said, education is the most powerful weapon you can use in this world. When I was in South Africa in November, I was building schools and literacy hubs, and something that really changed my life was the integration of how people from the townships were taken into the schools, taught to teach the children in the schools, in the literacy hubs, how to read and write. 80% of children in the environment couldn't read and write. Now 80% of those children who attend those literacy hubs can read and write. That is the power of education. Education is a tool that can be used throughout the whole world to create massive change, and it has done for me. My Beauty with a Purpose, Dream in a Box, is a little literacy kit that has my own book that I wrote, Sunny and the Safe Harbour, all about finding your safe place in life and where you should feel safe as a child. It has affirmations, self-love, and lots of stories. But most importantly, it has the ability to dream. There's worksheets inside it that enable you to write your own story and lay out your destiny. Because for me personally, something that really stood to me was when you put things on paper, magical things really do happen. Education is who I am, and it will be what I champion for the rest of my life. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Ireland. And not too far from the Emerald Isle is our next contestant's country. And of course, it's Wales.
I'm an academic, of course, but my biggest lessons have been learned out in the community or across the world. My Beauty with a Purpose project is about educating and empowering young people with the tools and knowledge to react and counteract knife crime. They didn't get the opportunity to go to medical school. They didn't have it as easy as I did. And my journey wasn't easy either. I'm also the first to go to university in my family. But education in a school institute isn't for everyone. Sometimes you need hands-on education in the community, which is why I founded Exeter Street Doctors, to give them that chance to protect themselves and know what to do when they find themselves in that situation of violence. When I traveled to Uganda, I hosted an empowerment session. I thought I was empowering those women, but they were empowering and educating me. The life stories they shared with me will stay with me more than anything I've learnt in medical school. And when I came to India, I met with acid attack survivors. They endured the cruelest act, but they taught me that you can still smile at the world even if it's treating you badly. So education can look like different things to different people, but it's a tool and it's a powerful one for everyone. And I hope that the education I offer in Wales and England, but also the countries I've visited, will make a difference in their lives. Thank you.
Wow. I've got to be honest, I don't think I'd like to be a judge on this particular one. Two fantastic presentations. So I'm going to ask you to come forward this, and maybe, since that was very serious and heartfelt, a little lighter moment. Is there any lighter moment, something that's happened in your group that maybe you shouldn't tell us about, but today you will? Can you, your lips are no longer sealed, one of those?
Wales, do you want to go first?
Sure. We're known for not waking up when we're supposed to, aren't we, Irene? So we'll get a call on the phone and then Irene will knock at our door. So maybe that's all of us. That's not one individual. But the Europe bus is always filled with laughs and dances. And you're the most incredible women I've ever met. And everyone in this room uplifts me in some way. So thank you for being here and giving your friendship to us.
And Ireland, you're not going to escape. You want to dish the dirt here. Come on.
As Millie said, there's not, Europe has been just absolutely amazing. And I'm so proud of us all, especially Estonia with Sports Day. We're all cheering for, and, we all want each other to win. And that's so important. I know it is competition, but it's also just a sea of friendship and love. So Europe, you are the best.
Oh, it's wonderful. And I know from one of the things you just said there, and I'm sure the ladies all agree, you have a fantastic support team. And you mentioned one lady who's happened to, I think, to have been with us longer than anyone else. And in fact, we should really be carrying her to bed in the evening, but she's still going strong. She is, of course, Irene. Where is Irene there as well? There she is with her group. And have you got any stories about Irene?
Irene has been our biggest supporter throughout this whole journey. She's been like a mom to all of us. And as Millie says, she does knock on our door and give us wake up calls every morning. But without her, we probably wouldn't be on time. So, Irene, you are the best. Thank you so much.
Well done to Irene and all the team of support staff. Thank you. Well, we have a result. And as you can imagine, it was not only a tie, even the second vote was a tie, and it's taken a third vote to determine that going forward from this group and into the top 10 in Europe is Wales. Wow. Well done. Congratulations. And congratulations, Ireland. That was a superb presentation. Let's hear it for Ireland as well. Wow. There's all those empty chairs and only 2 of them filled now. So let's bring them forward. Asia and Oceania, Thailand and Turkey. Right. Hold on one moment. Just going to give you a very special question. Right, your subject is going to be cultural identity in a globalized world. Okay. So, Thailand, in an increasingly globalized world, how can we preserve our cultural heritage whilst embracing unity and diversity?
Thank you, Steve. As Steve has mentioned earlier, I dream to be an ambassador of Thailand, studying international relations. And I am doing everything that all of us here are doing, which is representing our country in an international stage. And I think that in this fast moving, in this globalizing world, sometimes the situation forced us to try to be modern, try to blend in, try to be international, or try to be the citizen of the globe, which partly we are doing it, but at the same time, sometimes we lost or we throw away parts of ourselves that is deeply rooted within us. And I think that it is very important to implement the mindset of being grateful of who you are and where you're from. Because I've always believed that standing here, saying that I'm from Thailand, it's not just about the way I write Thailand on my nationality in my registration form or taking out my passport, which has the word Thailand on it. It's about the landscape, the beautiful places of my country, of my people. It's about the taste I remember in my childhood or the sounds I remember of my grandparents and everything of Thailand that is deeply rooted within me that I am grateful for and will do forever what it takes to keep it within me. And I think that it is also very important for us to know that in the end, when we're standing here today, it's not about throwing away parts of you in order to fit in with the world. It's all about taking parts within you and creating a world together, all of us with diversity and unity, and always move forward together in unity with empathy, with open hearts, so we can create a beautiful world together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Thailand. And our final speaker here Turkey. What, in an increasingly globalized world, how can we preserve our cultural heritage while embracing unity and diversity?
Thank you very much for the question. I think it's very important because at this time of the world where there's so much conflict going on, cultural heritage and the respect for international differences is very important and valuable. So, to preserve cultural heritage among this increasing globalization, consulates and embassies have a major role of holding and hosting events that embrace countries' deep-rooted traditions, histories, cultures, music, arts, and cuisine. By holding such events, they actually unite different citizens of the world together to learn and acknowledge our differences as well as our similarities, because unity is strengthened and celebrated with diversity, not as a barrier, but as a form for us to actually encourage our diversity together. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. And once again, ladies, if you could step forward while the judges make that decision. Again, while we've been here at this hotel, we've developed a very strong bond with all the staff here. And is there any outstanding moment for you for your time here at this hotel, at the brilliant Trident Hotel?
I have a lot of moments that I really appreciate and will forever keep in my heart in the playlist of Trident. First, I would say every day when I start my breakfast, I go down and then I would go to all the staff in the dining hall. And the moment I walk up to them, I haven't said a word. And they would say, hot cappuccino with almond milk. They remember my coffee. And then I walk to the other staff and they say, egg royale with extra smoked salmon. And then after breakfast, I come back to my room, and then a beautiful lady would knock on my door. And then she would you like your room cleaned? And I wouldn't be saying a word. And then she would say, I'll come back in 30 minutes. I have so many moments here, Stephen. I believe that all of us here have it too. And I hope that we will forever cherish this and appreciate everyone here that is making our time here very, very beautiful and wonderful. And thank you very much, Trident, for this amazing memory.
Continue.
You should definitely continue.
Okay. Thank you, Trident Hotel and the Miss World Committee for hosting us here in Hyderabad and Telangana. It has been an incredible time at this hotel, actually. Really, the employees here have been so gracious and so warm. Every day when we come to our room from an event, there's actually a new gift in our rooms, and it has cute little notes saying, for our beautiful ladies. And especially one of the employee ladies here has been so kind. She helps me with my dresses every time to tie the back or the zipper. And I don't even have to ask for it. She just usually comes around when we're getting ready to knocks on our door. So I think this just shows and reflects the personality and the warmth and hospitality of Hyderabad and Telangana, because they've been so warm, so gracious, very welcoming, and we've truly felt home here. Because normally our parents or our brother or sister would help us get ready, and here the staff here has been so kind to help us through this entire beautiful journey. So thank you.
That's brilliant. Well, we have had an incredible time, but it's that time again where we have to say who has qualified. And on this head-to-head challenge for Asia and Oceania, going through to the top 10 in their continent, Turkey. And again, it was another great performance from Thailand as well. So let's hear it for her. So, ladies, would you all come to the front of the stage, in front of where you've come forward? Let's have our winners. So first of all, we have Trinidad and Tobago going through in